Good day friends. Today is our second lecture on the subject architecture and town planning. Now in last lecture we have seen various components of architecture. We will continue with that. Now the next component, aesthetic. Now the various components of aesthetic are: first nature, second environment, third unity, fourth contrast, fifth proportion, sixth scale, seventh expression, eighth character of building, ninth interior design, 10th one is color, and the last one, the 11th one is landscape. Now let's see one by one. What is nature? Now the nature, architects can design the built environment by changing the way by which cities and buildings to connect the nature. So architects has to design the building, or he has to plan the buildings or the township as per the laws of nature, or as per it coherent with the nature. It should match the nature. Say architects can change the proximity to nature, and he can establish a physical relationship with the nature. Now in these two images I am trying to show that this is a big township, okay, but the architect has tried to do landscaping in this so that it has some relation with the nature also. In this typical building, this building is planned, and you can see the balconies and terraces has been planted with trees and lawns, okay. Even the podium means a lifted parking, lifted area from ground, okay. So they have terrace gardening, lawns, landscaping, etc., etc. So this gives a pleasing appearance, okay, in this concrete jungle, okay. So architect should plan according to so that it should match the nature, it should be coherent with the nature. Now next, concept, environment. Architecture and environmental works hand in hand. Environment should work in hand. Good building designs understand the natural environment and knowing how human intervention affects it, both positively and negatively. So he has to build a design or understand the design according to the natural environment, okay, and how this natural environment that can affect human interventions, okay. Man attacks nature, okay, so human also interferes within the nature. So how human intervention affects it, both positively and negatively. As man and nature are dependent on each other, both are dependent on each other, environment has a new meaning, okay. Architecture and the environment encourages a variety of perspectives. Now in these two images, architect has planned according to the environment. So there are water bodies over here, they have planted some trees over here, okay, there is a traffic road here, okay. So architects have tried to coherent with the nature, okay. Now here also there are solar panels on the rooftop, wind ventilators on the top. So architects, and then again landscaping and greenery on the ground floor. So architects have tried to give some relation with the nature, the relation of the building with the nature. Architects have tried to take advantages of the natural conditions. So this is the environmental impact on building design. Now third concept, unity. As you know, unity means oneness, okay. We know the relation of, we know the example of unity. It expresses harmony among the different elements of the building. As per architecture or town planning is concerned, unity, it shows harmony among the different elements of the building. Whether there is a roof, there are beams, balconies, okay, glass panels, these are various elements, floors, okay. Now the key elements of unity are color. Color is also one of the element. texture, this glassy texture or this rough texture. Okay, they then tone, what tone of the building. Okay, then direction of the building. Okay, it should face the sun rays in the morning. Okay, and it should also be naturally ventilated in the direction of the wind. Then proportion of the building, there should be some relation with the length and width of the building with respect to height. Okay, then solid, building should be solid. Okay, and there are some void spaces there. Here you can see some void spaces here. Okay, forms of building. Okay, these are various two forms of building I am trying to show it, and also shape of the building. These are the key elements of unity that shows the structure as a one and whole. Now next component, contrast. Contrast means difference, opposite elements like dark color versus light color, smooth texture versus hard texture, small shapes versus large shape. Okay, light color versus hard colors. Okay, so contrast, it refers, contrast means opposite. Contrast refers to the arrangement of opposite elements such as light versus dark colors, rough versus smooth textures, large versus small shapes, etc. in a piece, so as to create visual interest. Okay, and then excitement and uniqueness in the design of the building. Here the architect has given a contrast shape and color to the building. Now the original building, there is a wall over here. Okay, and architect has tried to give a different shape of the building. Okay, and he has given a different color combination. Here also these two buildings, they are joined by a red element that shows a contrast between the two elements or two parts of the building or two shapes of the building. Now third one, proportion. The three conditions of a good building, namely usefulness, solidity or strength, and beauty. This is the proportion. Proportion means in a size that is very peaceful to eyes. Proportion plays an important role in all three, as it provides guidelines for laying out useful spaces, for designing structural systems, and for creating an aesthetically pleasing environment. Now in this first image, we can't say that the building or the structure is in proportion. There are some vague structures. Okay, those are very differently arranged. Okay, so we can't say that the building is in proportion. While this old temple building, we can say that it is in a proportion. Okay, these two what we call gabaras, okay, of the temple is joined by this main structure. Okay, and the pedestal of the structure is also very well arranged. So we can say that this image is in good proportion, but we can't say that this image is in a good proportion. Now scale. Now there are various scales in architecture drawing. Okay, you may be familiar with these scales in your engineering courses. So architecture drawing is the way to represent it reality, ideas, speculations and conceptions. Okay, so the scale is a factor that establishes the level of reading for these representations. Okay, and determines the link between the real world and the dimensions of the drawing or model. So firstly, architect drafts the building on a paper, on a drawing sheet. Okay, for that he has to use a scale, or for a model he has to use a scale. Okay, say 1:100, 1:200, 1:1000 also. So apart from relation between two numbers, scale works as a guide to the degree of detailing and indicates the phase of which phase the building is. Okay, it also indicates the phase of the building. Okay, the stage of the building, that is also indicated in the scale. It gives a guideline to indicate the phase of the building. Here in this images, I have tried to show different scale. This scale is 1 is to 50. This is 1 is to 500. This is 1 is to 200. This is 1 is to 250. Various types of scales are there. Okay, I am trying to show you. Now next concept is expression. Architecture buildings are designed to express a person's emotion. These images shows the emotions and feelings of the occupants. Okay, this is a self-expression. The beauty and concepts are self-expression. It is a way of showing others what their idea of beauty and innovation looks like. So here the building expresses itself. There are color combination, the texture. Okay, it expresses richness with itself only. This building also, though it is a steel structure, this is a steel structure, but when glass is introduced and it is very well painted, it expresses a different type of building. It expresses by itself. Okay, so this is what the character is, this expression. So innovations and the beauty, they are the concept used to express the building. It is used to express one's own feeling and emotions. Character of the building. Now the building characters are its material, craftsmanship, decorative details, interior spaces and features, as well as the various sites and environment. The character is further subdivided as functional, associated and personal characters of the buildings. Okay, here we can see the character of the building. When the old building, this is the old building, it meets a new building. So there are two different characters in these two buildings. Okay, while this building, okay, this is only one single, okay, but it is showing aesthetic with the concrete, okay, and some greenery is there. So there is some aesthetic in the building, aesthetic sense in the building. Here when the old meets new, so this expresses the character of the building, what type of character the building is having. So there are various characters such as functional, associated and personal characters, okay, of the building. Now this function of this building, it looks like an administrative building. Okay, this function of the building, this is a total commercial building. It appears a total commercial buildings. So these are the characters of the buildings. Now interior design. It can be called as an art and science to design interior spaces with furniture, appliances, decorative elements, color, texture and light to give an ease in living and pleasing atmosphere to the people living in the and visiting the building. Interior is basically associated with furniture and color and light. Okay, so it gives a pleasing atmosphere to the people living and visiting the building. Here you can see the room is well decorated. It has a good interior with furniture has been very well arranged. Okay, and it gives a good appearance. These windows gives a good appearances to the people sitting here. Okay, now this is a typical bedroom. Okay, you can see these appliances, this fan, televisions, etc. They are all attached in the room. Okay, there is one bed for sleeping purpose. Okay, all these furnitures, then curtains, then ceiling. So this makes a building with good interiors. Now colors and their perceptions are responsible for a series of conscious effects in psychospatial relationship. It expresses relation between the spaces and psychological manners of the people, okay, or the building. Despite its presence and its variation, it is present in all places. Color shows its existence everywhere. As constructive elements for architectural objects, the application of color on surfaces also influences the user's experience of the space. Now this is the famous Hawa Mahal palace in Jaipur city. Okay, Pink City. So this is a palace in Jaipur. It is well colored. It is well maintained and well colored. It gives a pleasing effect. This is also the building interior. Okay, and it is also well colored and well maintained building and very good appearance for people living inside also and for people who are viewing it from outside. So it makes a perception and is responsible for serious conscious effects. And so it shows the relation between psychology and spaces of the people using it or viewing it. Landscape. It is the design of outdoor areas of buildings. Okay, it is the design of outdoor areas of the buildings, landmarks, and to give a pleasing aesthetic appearance and good social behavior. It is a balance between built-up areas and environment. So it is the designing of outdoor areas of the building. It gives a landmark and it gives a pleasing aesthetic appearance and good social behavior. When you enter the building, okay, it gives a pleasing feeling. Okay, it gives a very good feeling. So I am trying to show it. This is Mughal garden near the Rashtrapati Bhavan in New Delhi. Okay, it is well maintained and well planned garden. Okay, with these fountains and this landscaping. Here a typical house with a very good landscape. This is very good lawn and these plants, they are planted all flowers and decorative plants to give it a pleasing appearance. Okay. Now we'll see the next components, aesthetic. Now the elements of aesthetics are, there are very 17 elements. First one is point, second one line, third one plane, fourth one figure, fifth one form, space and size, sixth one background, seventh one architectural composition, eighth one space, ninth one mass volume, 10th style, 11th light shade and shadow, 12 dramatics, then 13 visual impact, statics and dynamic, 14 the art, feeling, skyline, solid and void. Now the principle and elements of architectural composition are focus, then unity, 3 balance, 4th rhythm, 5th harmony, 6 discord, 7 texture, 8 contrast, 9 monotony, 10 scale, 11 proportion, 12 character and 13 color. Let's see one by one composition, architectural composition. Now focus. Focus means to highlight the element. It means to highlight the elements. Eye movement is directed towards the center of interest that takes a position of prominence in the elevation. Okay. Here you can see there is one decorative element that attracts the whole structure. Okay. It focuses the whole structure. Here also this is a structure with a great elevated tower. Okay, high elevated tower. It gives a good focus to this structure. Here also the focus is this building. Okay, this building, but the landscape is arranged in such a way that we can walk through it and we can concentrate on this building, okay, while going through it. So this is the focus. It is highlighting the element. Okay, here our element is this building. Here the whole building, the whole room is our element. Here the building located in the center of the garden. So this garden highlights this building. This tower highlights this building. This decorative piece highlights this room. Now next one, unity. So unity is achieved by consistent use of lines, color, material and or texture within the design. It means completeness and indicates harmony among the different elements. Okay, here we can see the building, the structures as a whole. Okay, though they are different also, they are arranged such that it appears that they are one. Here also the building, there are various towers in the building, but they are arranged to show the structure as a one. This is also a structure in symmetry. Okay, it shows oneness. Okay, one whole structure as a whole. Now unity occurs when all parts of a home or room are related by one idea. This unity occurs when all parts of a home or room are related by one idea. And unified design has consistency of style. Here the idea of sitting in this room is to get some warm feeling. Okay, in western countries where temperature is very low, there are these chimneys. So the unity occurs that people come here and they enjoy the warmness of the chimneys. So here the unity of the room is warmness. People come here to take the warmness. Now second variety, when two or different elements of design are used to add interest to a design. Two or more different elements. Okay, there are various elements. These cupboards, this basin, these windows, this tile cladding. There are various elements. This is a part of kitchen, I think. So there are appliances also fitted over here. So there are different elements. They are used to give a design concept and to make a design interested. There is the furniture or the interior is made decorative, then by a variety of design. Now variety can be achieved by combining different styles and materials as long as they are compatible. So there are different styles and materials are used to show a variety in the room. Harmony. Harmony is one. It is achieved when unity and variety are effectively combined. Then when unity and variety are effectively combined, it shows harmony. It shows a harmony relation with it. Carrying variety too far creates confusion. Too much variety when carried, it creates confusion. A lack of unity make a small home seem even smaller. Okay, if you add more variety to this room, it will always look smaller. So unity and variety should work hand in hand. Then light, here we can see lighthouse. A lighthouse structure with a living bed inside. Okay, and this is a building designed as a satellite, as a rocket. Okay, the furniture interior is designed as a rocket. Here we can see a TV set, various appliances over here. Okay, and some interior part at the top. So we can see a variety in here. Here we can see oneness, unity in these two components of the structure. Now third one is balance. The part of the design are equally distributed to create a sense of stability. Both physical and visual balance exist. In types of balance, symmetrical or formal balance. When there is a symmetry in the structure, asymmetrical or informal balance. Then one radial balance, then vertical balance, and then horizontal balance. So this is a symmetrical balance between the structure. Okay, this is weighing balance and it is balance. Now here we can see it is asymmetrical. Okay, there is one apple here and some iron structure weighing it. Okay, so it shows asymmetrical balance. So achieved by placing identical objects on the either side of a central point. Okay, here it is asymmetrical, achieved by placing different objects of equal visual weight on either side of a central point. So this is asymmetrical balance, this is symmetrical balance. Now symmetrical or formal balance. The elements within the design are identical in relation to a central line or axis. Okay, here we can see Taj Mahal area, Taj Mahal structure. Okay, the main here it is in symmetry. The main central axis, it gives symmetry to both the sides of the structure. Okay, even these towers, okay, these boomers, this garden, they give a symmetrical effect on a central axis. This is called a symmetrical or formal balance. Symmetrical balance, it creates a quite restful feeling. Okay, it gives a pleasing and restful feeling, suggests restraints, orderliness and formality. Okay, it suggests restraint. There are some restraint. Okay, in the design. Then orderliness. It gives orderliness. It gives an evenness and formality. All formality of the structures are completed. So it is also called as a formal balance. Asymmetrical or informal balance. The parts of the design are not identical but are equal in visual weight. Here the structure is not in a balance or not in a symmetry. Okay, if you give us x central vertical axis, the structure is not in symmetry. If you give a horizontal axis also, the structure is not in symmetry. Okay, so these are not identical but they are equal in visual weight. So these are called as asymmetrical or informal balance. Now asymmetrical or informal balance, it creates more interesting arrangements. Then it suggests informality, relaxed, and also referred to as informal balance. Now asymmetrical balance, the mirror is placed off center on the mantle, then tray and bottles on either side of the mirror help out to balance it out. Now mirror is placed off center of the mantle. Okay, and trays and bottles on either side of the mirror help to balance it out. And trays and bottles are placed on either side of the mirror to balance it out, to give a symmetrical balance to the dressing table. Now radial balance. These design elements radiate outward from the center. This is generally observed in towers or roof towers. Okay, so this is a photograph of a room. Okay, so design elements, they radiate outward from the center. Okay, they outward towards these pillars. These are pillars. This is the rooftop of a building. Okay, aesthetical building. So here also the design elements that are shown, they radiate outward from the center of the main point. Okay, so this is called as radial balance. Now vertical balance. The top and bottom parts are equal. Here also you can see the top and bottom parts of the building are equal. So that this is, you can see that the building is in vertical balance. Okay, so it is also, the vertical balance is achieved by the reflection of the building in the water also. Now horizontal balance. Here, as I said earlier, the left and right parts are equal of the building wall, and if vertical line is drawn from the center of each design, the left and right would be the mirror images. So if I draw a vertical line from this, both left and right parts are mirror images. Now rhythm. Repeated use of line, shape, color, texture or pattern. Repeated use of line, shape, color and texture or pattern gives rhythm. Now types of rhythm: regular rhythm, random rhythm and graduated rhythm. Okay, when these lines or shape, color, texture is repeated, it gives a rhythmic effect. Now principles of architecture: accentuation and rhythm. After viewing any space internally and externally, a person always has a special feeling about a special element. This feeling is because of the impression, emphasis, rigidity, firmness, function, decisivity of the element. So after viewing any space, okay, after viewing any structure both internally and externally, a person has a special feeling about the special element. So this feeling is because of impression, emphasis, that means concentration, rigidity, firmness, function, decisivity of the element. Now this emphasis of the element is termed as accentuation. Okay, this emphasis of the element is termed as accentuation. Now any repetitive occurrence of a particular pattern is called as rhythm. Okay, rhythm may be also be created by successive decrease or increase in the size of the chosen pattern. So rhythm can be created by successive decrease or increase in the size of the pattern. If you increase or decrease the pattern, rhythm is going to change. This is regular rhythm. An element is repeated as same repetition interval each time. Here it is a typical flowing point. Here the rhythm, the design is repeated several times, so it gives a rhythmic effect. Here also the roofs, tops, okay, the style arrangement of windows, structures, they are repeated, so it gives a rhythmic effect. So this is called a regular rhythm. This is called a random rhythm. So the beat of the elements are random or at irregular interval. So these towers, they are not in rhythm, they occur at irregular intervals. So we can say that the structure is in a random rhythm. Now graduated rhythm. The repeated elements is identical with the exception of one details increasing or decreasing gradually with each repetition. Here the arrangement, this decorative arrangement of in the landscape, okay, these structures are, the elements are have irregular structure, shape and size, but it gives a graduated rhythm. Okay, here also the buildings that is to be constructed, okay, they are not in a one height. Okay, so this is also a graduated rhythm. The building is not in a same height, so this gives graduated effect. Also this towers of this structure, okay, they are decreasing gradually. Okay, they are decreasing gradually upwards, so this is also called as graduated rhythm. Now these types of rhythm: rhythm by repetition, then rhythm by gradation, rhythm by radiation, rhythm by opposition, and rhythm by transition. Now let's see rhythm by repetition. Rhythm by repetition is created by duplicating or repeating shapes, colors, pattern, lines and textures. They are created by duplicating various shapes, colors, pattern, lines and textures. So beams in the ceiling are repeated. Beams in the ceiling are repeated. Window panes are repeated. Window panes is also repeated. Stripes on ottoman and chairs are repeated. Stripes on ottoman, okay, these mats and chairs, they are also repeated. So this gives a rhythm by repetition. Rhythm by gradation, okay, rhythm created by a gradual change in size or color. Here all of a sudden the color combination is changed. Okay, here we have some dark, then little light, now very light, then again dark. These shades, they create the rhythm by gradation. Okay, so paint on wall changes gradually in the value. So paint on the wall changes gradually. So this is rhythm by gradation. Then rhythm by opposition. Rhythm created by lines at right angles or contrasting color. Okay, here these two walls that meet at right angle, but here mirror is kept, it is decorated, but here nothing is there. Okay, so rhythm is lost. So there is rhythm by opposition. Rhythm is opposite. Here the wall is utmost without any decoration. There is only one piece of decoration wall. But here the wall is decorated with many items. Okay, there is basin over here. There is mirror, tiles has been arranged, wall piece is there, the stand is there, some decorative material is there. So there the two walls, they are in opposite rhythm. So contrasting black and white tiles, also these black and white tiles. Okay, these are black tiles, these are white tiles, and the lines intersecting at right angles. The right also gives rhythm by opposition, as I said earlier. Then rhythm by transition. Rhythm created by curved lines that carry your eyes across a straight surface. Here we have curved lines in this chairs. In this chair. Also the back of the chairs is also curved. So there is some rhythm created by curved line. So we carry our eyes across the straight surface. Then window treatments that gently down create a soft rhythm by transition. That window treatments with the treatment with these curtains and these decorative elements, okay, they generally swipe down and they create a soft rhythm by transition. Although this deck rhythm, they show a curved rhythm, here there is a smooth rhythm formed at the windows. Then harmony, movement. Flow or feeling of action when two or more elements are similar nature produce harmony. Here, flow of feeling or action. There is a flow of feeling or in this pyramid. Okay, there is a flow of action. There is some action is feel. Okay, this harmony is feel. Movement is feel. So when two or more elements are similar nature produce harmony. So here it creates harmony. Here also the stanchion of the pole of the bridges, they create harmony. Here also the exterior decorative elements of the building, they create harmony in the movement. Then discord, it is the group of elements of entirely different in nature so that they have an unpleasant effect. This can disturb to all elements of harmony. Discordance means different elements, extra contradictory or opposite elements. They are different in nature and they can disturb the harmony. Here we can see these buildings, okay, this disturbs the harmony. The inclined structures, they disturb the harmony of the building. Here also this building, okay, on this treatment in the building, okay, on the side of the building near a railway track, okay, it disturbs it destroys the harmony, okay, with this building. There is no harmony with these two buildings. So there is no similarity between these two buildings or two parts of the building. Then texture. The surface looks or feel of something. It is a surface look. You can, if you touch a wall, you can get a smooth feeling. So you can say the texture is smooth. If you touch a concrete structure, it is sometimes rough. It is quite rough than a wall. So finished wall. So we can say that the concrete has a little rough texture than a finished wall. It is the surface that looks or feels like something. Smooth surface reflects more light and therefore is a more intense color. Okay, so reflects more light. Rough surface absorbs more light and therefore appears darker. Rough surface absorbs more light and therefore appears dark. So they absorb more light, so they appear darker. It reflects more light, therefore they appear smooth surface, light. This is a smooth texture. Example of it, this is glass, facade, glass cladding over a building, with decorative treatment over a building. It gives a smooth texture. Okay, here also exterior of a building, okay, it gives smooth texture. But here the piers or pillars built in rough stones, okay, the dressing is not proper. So we can say that the building has a rough structure. Okay. Now we have completed our second lecture. Okay. We will continue with our third lecture sooner. Okay. Have a good day. Okay. Enjoy your study at home also, and please keep in mind that your lectures will be continued till the situation of this COVID improves. Okay. Have a good day.